Priya from Mom's Pump here, and this is the summer series, hashtag the pink life. So I was trying to do a live Facebook and my connection is bad. So because I'm always broadcasting, always on the phone, my data has run out. So the connection is bad. They started throttling. Anyway, so I'm sitting here at the park. You probably see the reflection in my glasses. I'm staring at the track and field right now because my kids are doing their summer camp thing. And I decided to come in the park because I didn't want crazy people. Well, I didn't want people to think I was crazy. Anyway, so today's topic is disciplining your child. Now, this is a tough subject because you hear studies all the time about not spanking your children, you know, spare the rod and spare the child, that kind of phrase, using positive reinforcement, when not to use negative reinforcement, all this advice. So when you become a mom, it's there's no manual. There's no manual to become a mom. There's no one telling you, well, you shouldn't, well, there probably are people telling you you shouldn't treat your child this way, you shouldn't do that. And if you're out and about with your kids and you see other parents disciplining their children in ways that you don't agree with, you cringe and you want to step in. Some moms will say something. I mean, if it's really bad, you should, but you just cringe because you don't do that. So how do you handle disciplining your children? It's such a tough subject. So for me, I have 3 kids. They're older now. Obviously, I've been through it with them. They're in puberty. They went through their terrible twos. They went through their tweens. Well, still going through their tweens. They went through their nice, sweet phase where you were just the center of the world and all they wanted to do was hug me and hold my hand and just be around me. Now they're growing into the stage where they're like, get out of my face. When you're babies, obviously your baby does not understand what you're talking about. They get into everything. They're very curious. They you know, have awe and wonder about the world, and they just want to touch things. They want to, you know, when they start walking, they just go everywhere. Obviously, they don't understand what's going on, and you know, you do have to tell them there are certain things that they can't go to. So what do? You know, should you spank? Should you scream? Should you talk softly? Obviously, if it's a baby, you should not spank your baby because your baby does not know what the heck is going on. They don't know what you're talking about, none of that. So this is a technique I've used through teaching, you know, teaching little ones and early childhood. You kneel down, you get down to their eye level, you talk to them, you hold their hand, and you say, you know, say their name is Tommy. Tommy, do not touch. Do not, and use a firm voice. You don't scream, you don't talk softly exactly, but you use a firm voice and you say do not touch. So the eye level thing is really important because you're not looking down like, I'm scary, and you're not spanking the child obviously, but you're getting to their eye level so that they are seeing your eyes and your intention. So it's important to do that. As they get older and their terrible twos happen, it's so frustrating. You just want to pull your hair out because they're like, no. I remember that so clearly when the kids were constantly saying, no. And it was so annoying. It was very challenging. And I know it's challenging for you if you have a 2-year-old that's just all over the place. And again, the best method is to get to their eye level, use a firm voice, and try to tell them very clearly that they should not be doing something. It's very tempting to scream, and I'm saying that because I'm a screamer. I scream. I always refer to it as monster mommy. You don't want me to turn into monster mommy, meaning that I get into my monster voice. I start to scream. And the kids are older now and I still do it. I still scream. But I'm very conscious of what I'm doing, and it's important that you're conscious of what you're doing too. And you address them directly. As you get older, they have more sense, more reason, and you can have a conversation with them. But when they're little, they don't really understand what's going on. So it's best to get to their eye level. Like I'm talking to you now, eye level, and you can address what's going on. So when they get older, I know some of you don't have older kids yet, but when they get older, the best thing to do, in my experience, has been to just take away stuff. They can't stand that. So everything that they enjoy, just make a mental list and say they're being really mean and rude to you, whether or not they had a bad day or they're just tired of hearing you correct them. Just take away stuff. The kids have their phone, I take away their phone. I take away their computer. If they my son likes to go fishing, no fishing this week, sorry. If they like playing with certain toys, you take away the toy. Privileges that they enjoy, you use. So this is sort of like negative reinforcement, taking away, but you could flip it and be like, if you listen to me, instead of saying don't listen to me, if you listen to me, I will let you use your phone today. So the opposite obviously is that if you don't listen, you can't use your phone. So using positive affirmations is important, and you will not get this straight because, again, there's no manual and you're in the moment and it will be difficult, but try your best to use the positive version of that. And I practice this with adults too. If adults annoy me, I say, acknowledge what you're saying. If I don't agree with what they're saying, I say, acknowledge what you're saying. This is how I feel, or I'll say, I'll think about this and I'll come back to you. You can do that with kids too. Some kids, my oldest son is very reasonable, and it sort of like drives me crazy. Like he'll be like, yeah, Mom, you're right. I'm sorry. And I'm like, I'm just in the moment, in emotion. And then he was like, oh, all reasonable. But my youngest, okay, so timeout. Timeout's also important. So you can give your child timeout. For younger kids, this works perfectly. You call it, there's another word for it. There's alone time, going to the corner, time to think. Your thinking chair is a good one. But in preschools, this is what they do. They tell their child that they have alone time or thinking time, go to the thinking chair or something like that, versus you're in the corner, time out, So these are all methods you could use to discipline your child. It's not easy. There's no manual. Don't feel pressured to be the perfect parent. Just be very conscious of what you're doing.